this mixer will turn off at night. So if you come into the studio in the morning and it's off, there is an on and off button. Switch in the back, and let me show you real quick. And I think it's coming back now, but if you noticed, it picked up the audio for the laptop here. So if this turns off during your recording, it'll still have a microphone, but it'll pick up audio from the laptop. So if you ever see this off when you come in, just take a look at the lights, and if they're all off, then obviously turn it on, right? So now the first portion here I want to show you is this signal green button here. So this means that there is audio coming into the microphone. So you could be at a different location or a different seat, and you'll see like a signal come in, and that's just what that means. Signal here is a green light. So I think this is blinking here because of the air. So there's air that is being pushed into the microphone, and I believe the Zoom is noticing that. So now that could be good, because if your guest is speaking into a mic and there's no audio here, but the signal's here, it could probably just mean maybe the trim is down or the volume is down. So we'll go into that a little bit later. But now, so the first thing here is, again, like the other mixer, there is your gain. So your gain controls your audio volume first. So you want to make sure that this is right in the beginning. So make sure that you turn it left to bring your guests or your audio higher, or right to bring your audio lower. Now, below that is a new knob. It's a compression knob. So what compression does is it squashes your audio. So it makes your high audio lower, and it makes your lower audio higher, so that there's a more consistent audio level when you're recording. It's good for like high noises or loud noises. It makes it quieter. It also makes the background noise a little bit quieter too. But if you can, I have this on, so if I turn this off, my voice sounds a little bit more thin. I don't know if you can tell, but if I crank this up, it gets louder also, but it makes you sound a little bit more radio-y, like a radio voice. So if I turn this back to normal, this is where I like it, it sounds like it's just enough compression for me, at least. Okay, and this compression is in your recording too. So let's say you don't want any compression, no effects. Just turn this off and it won't be recorded. Now, this select button here, I would just ignore this, but this is if you want to set up some echo, some reverb, some dance hall type effects. You select the effect button here on the channel you want to change, and you go to the blue over there and turn it to the left or turn it to the right, depending on what effect you want to send to this channel. So I would not mess with that. Typically people don't, but it'll always be probably in this channel 1 just sitting there. So just remember, it doesn't really do anything unless you want to send effects to it. Now, this is different. So whenever you record on the SD card, you have to signify which channel needs to be recorded. So if you want this channel 1 to be recorded in the SD card, you got to make sure it's red. Now, if there's another channel that you want to be recorded, make sure that's red too, and so forth. If you want all of them recorded, make sure that they're all red. Green just means you can hear the audio. Oh, there's no green. Green is whenever you turn it on and off the mixer. But if you don't want something recorded, just make sure that this is not selected. So again, if you want to record this channel, make sure it's red. If you do not, make sure it's off. Now, after that, under this is the mute button. Mute button similar to the other mixer, but everyone has a mute button. I recommend, if you're not using a channel, make sure that you mute that channel. So if it's just you and a co-host, just make sure that these are unmuted and the rest are muted. That's it. The slider here is different. For each channel, you get to see the levels, which is great, right? Instead of just one main channel, one main meter, there's a meter for each person. So it's great whenever you're trying to check everyone's audio levels. If you want to decrease the audio level of this channel, you can just bring it down. If you want to bring it up, then obviously bring it up. Sometimes these channels get stuck, and you'll see like a solid light, like at -10. To reset that, you just do this. You go up, down, and you bring it back to the middle. I don't know why Zoom does this, but if you ever see that your audio level is stuck, or maybe you're not hearing any audio, just reset the fader. Like that. Okay? And just a couple more tidbits. This channel here is for the audio that comes out of the laptop into your headphones. So for example, you're doing a show in Ecamm Live, and you want to hear a commercial and it's not going through your headphones. Make sure this fader is all the way up so you can hear the audio from the laptop to the mixer into the headphone. And also, your headphones is the same. So the splitter is the same thing that we have here. So 1 corresponds to seat 1, 2 corresponds to seat 2. And always make sure that if you don't see or hear audio coming back from the laptop into your headphones, make sure that this red button USB 1-2 is always enabled. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is the soundboard. The soundboard is here, 11 and 12. If you don't hear the soundboard, like if you play something,
Mama, I love you.
If you don't hear it,
P.O.P.
it could be that. It could be that.
Mama, I
there's
love
no volume down.
P.O.P. I will die. Right, these are good pimps for baby for life.
You should be good. So again, we'll put some labels here. We'll put a soundboard label here. We also have the typical iRig. We'll put an iRig label here, but that is 7. So iRig is used, and it's behind the table. So it's used if you have a dial-in caller. You don't want to use Ecamm, but you want to connect your phone into the mixer. We have it hanging here in the back. I'll show it in another video. But really, that's it. That's all. And then we'll go into another video to talk about how to record on the SD card on the actual mixer. All right. Thanks, everybody.